So this is just a little overnight loop that I did with my mates Belly and Benny. Started at Raymond Terrace, drove to Lake Glenbawn, checked that out. I'd never been there before, so it was good to suss it out. We then continued up around the back of Barrington Tops and did a little 20 Creeks crossing trail, which runs between Glenrock Station and Barry Station. You then spit out at a place called Hanging Rock, which is near Nundle. We did some activities around there, spent the night at the state park campground called the Ponderosa, and then we continued our journey on day 2, came back through Nowendoc, Gloucester, Stroud, etc. back to Raymond Terrace. Right, first stop, Glenbawn Dam. Never been here before. She's pretty big. A lot bigger than I thought it would be. Very picturesque. Lovely. There the boys. There the cars are. So there's a Reflections holiday park at Glenbawn Dam. It's a very popular place. You can see why it's popular for boating, fishing. It's a huge dam. It's well worth coming and checking it out if you're in the area. Boys being boys, we're just seeing who can get the biggest amount of water spraying up like a bunch of idiots. Oh, look at that. Might be a bit biased, but I think Cassie the Fortuna was far better at spraying water everywhere than Dougie the D-Max or Chewy the Troopy. What do you think? Here on Glenrock Station, this little point we've come over, you can see all that way, this, when you look that direction, you swing back over here over the top of Cassie, you keep seeing way up there. We haven't come to any of these creek crossings yet, that's what we've come on the journey for, so we'll hopefully see them soon. So not long after you pass Glenrock Station Homestead, you arrive at a gate which marks the start of the 20 Creek Crossings Trail. In a short space of time, you cross the Schofields Creek 20 times as you drive up a valley towards Barry Station. It's important to note this part of the track is closed, particularly during wet weather events, as the crossings can become deep and dangerous really quickly, and it's the only road in and out of the area, so the farmers and workers need that road to be kept in good condition to access their properties. So if you plan on doing the trip, ensure it's in good weather.
Ellie coming across. Let's get down here and get some footage of him. It's a little soft about there. Get out there, easy peasy.
It's about now we realised we hadn't let the tyres down. The road had been pretty good up till now. As a result, I'm bouncing all over the place.
Don't they call that like fireweed or something?
Not sure.
There's a little bit of a deep hole here. Oh. But you'll get through it easy. Looks pretty straightforward. I've lost count of how many creek crossings we've had. I think this is number 11, I think. Or 12, or 13.
Yeah, he said that last one was 10.
At this place called Bushetta Dam, but I won't get the drone up because there's probably 10 groups of people here camping. But you can come here, you can fish, you can swim. There's a cute little wharf here. Get out on the water. Built in 1888, American gold mining company, of course, like everything, driven by money. Oh, it was a good stop, it was a good chance to have a beer. So this is Benny, wave to the camera, Benny. Belly, wave to the camera. And me at the Hanging Rock Lookout.
Not that Hanging Rock.
Yeah. We're looking at the Hanging Rock around Nundle, not Hanging Rock in Victoria, or the Hanging Rock out the west of Sydney, or the Hanging Rock I saw in South Australia somewhere.
From Hanging Rock you can see for about 30-35 kilometres. You look over Nundle, over the Peel River Valley, out towards Werris Creek. Although you can't see Werris Creek, it's on the other side of those mountains off in the distance there.
cool little walkway into the Hanging Rock Historic Cemetery. Gold Rush year of Hanging Rock. The last burial was in 1935. Mrs. Ashton died at childbirth at Hanging Rock and is buried at Maitland. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so there's some grave sites in here. This is pretty cool. Well, you've got no idea who that is because you can't see what's on the rock. That's a shame. This is just a nice little, there's a couple of little grave sites up there, and this is like a memorial here of people that they know are buried here that don't have grave sites. Miners mostly. So we've come to the Ponderosa Park in the Nundle State Forest. Free campsite. Could do with a slasher running over it, but imagine once they tidy it up, it's a pretty good place to stay. There we are. There's the fire over there. There's Billy setting up. Benny setting up over there. That's where I'm set up for the night. It's not a bad little place if I'm being honest. I mentioned it was free. Right, so I'm making Bushetta, which I got the idea off of Harry from Fire to Fork. So on there, believe it or not, squished on that bread on the other side is some Cumberland pork sausage, bit of cheese. We're going to cook that up, and we're going to flip it over, and we're going to pile all this stuff here on top of it, and a bit of that, and we're going to eat it. And if it's shit, I'm going to post on Harry's comments and tell him. Okay, so we're probably 5 minutes later, and we've flipped them over. So that's the pork and cheese there. That's been cooked, and we're just browning up the underside now. So we're only a couple minutes away from enjoying a nice little entree.
Hey Scott, them sausages are burning, aren't they?
Look, Billy, you've had too many wild turkeys, mate. It's time to calm down.
Okay.
Okay, but more important, are you looking forward to some of this Bushetta?
Oh, Bushetta.
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 I'm looking forward to it.
And
Bushetta.
Bushetta.
Harry from Fire to Fork style. Hopefully he has a look at it and he judges it. Thanks, pal. Alright, Harry. This is my Bushetta. I've thrown on this stuff here. Balsamic vinegar. Got that nice aroma coming up out of that. Beautiful aroma. Tomato, red onion, pork's on there, bit of cheese. The boys and I are going to mun this. And as you say, the camera always eats first. Alright, so I really enjoyed that Bushetta. I went back for seconds, that's how good it was. Anyway, Belly, what do you think of the Bushetta?
Excellent. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
That's pretty good, 8 out of 10, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the shit I've cooked up in the past. Benny, what do you think?
Same as Belly, I think that gets an 8 out of 10. I think it'd be...
I'm disappointed, I thought Benny would have given it at least 8.5, just to be different.
Look,
You think it needed a bit more Bushetta?
change the light
No, a
cheese.
bit more sauce.
Change the light cheese, mate.
No, yeah, the light, okay, yes. I accidentally picked up the light cheese satchel
Mate, probably a
from
bit of
Coles,
more
I do
fine
apologise.
I reckon if it had a
Okay.
bit more chewier cheese and a little less burn, I reckon it could have been a 9.
Suddenly this is turning into a fucking criticism of my food.
Hey, it's an 8. It could have been a 9.
I'll take an 8. Belly, an 8.
That's an 8.
So 8 out of 10, I'll take that. I think that's a success.
woke up to a beautiful morning for day 2. Billy cooked up the usual bacon and eggs, which got a solid 8 out of 10 from me, even if they were served up on a spinach wrap. Yeah. But still, it was a good way to start the day. Once we packed up, we headed into Nundle, where we checked out a few things before completing a largely uneventful run down the Thunderbolt's way to Gloucester and then on to home.
Know what we're doing here.
Go get some knitting needles. And,
Coming to check out the Nundle Woolen Mill. The Nundle Woolen Mill. Old bales. Cool old Chevrolet truck down here, Benny. 1947. General Motors Canada. Kind of press.
This is operational, is it?
Yeah, it works. It's just not working today, but they still run it. All the cool older style machines.
Now, there isn't much to actually do at Nowendoc. We called in just to have a bit of lunch, make use of the toilet facilities. But if you're interested in history, there is a fair bit of written information on some notice boards and that about some of the cool stuff that happened there back in the 1800s and early 1900s and how the area came into being. So if you like that stuff, definitely worth checking out. Along the journey is the Pioneer Lookout, which looks out over the northern side of the Barrington Tops National Park. Definitely worth a stop. As we continued along the Thunderbolt's way, we checked out the Bretty Reserve, which is a pretty cool little place. You can camp there for free, you can take your dog, it's on the river, plenty of open space. And then we went over to the Woko National Park and checked out the Woko Campground, which is on the Manning River as well. I think it's a place I'll probably put on my list of campsites to go and visit in the near future. And that was it. It was time to head home. I think all up, we had a great time.
Benny flying his giant drone. He's my little baby, my little DJI. Against this big motherfucker. You ready? Yep, watching. It moves a bit quicker than mine. Way too quick for me, pal.